Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Football Talk. And today, your boy's back at it again with some more college football. Today, we got College Football 27. Just got another new update. Ooh, okay. So let's see what this update talking about. As you can see at the bottom of my screen right here, it's your boy Eric Wayweather, and he's showing off his face cam today. So this one should be interesting because anytime he shows off his actual face cam, it's something hidden that maybe EA might didn't talk about, or something that he found out. It's always something. So I'm super excited to hop into this. Hopefully you guys are ready to hop into this with your boy Rockford Dudo. Let's jump right into it. Let's go.
Another update for College Football 27 dropped today, and there were some pretty important changes. Now, this update didn't have a big blog post or a big announcement like the one that came out last week. They did allude to some of these things changing when they talked about the previous update, but we didn't really know exactly when that one was going to drop. Well, we found out late last night that there would be a new update coming through today, and the one that dropped today wasn't a super big one, but it had some very important changes for not only gameplay, but for Dynasty and for Road to Glory as well. Now, this still isn't the true first really big update of the year. That one always drops about a month after the game is released. So this is the second smaller update so far this year that is
like the 2.5 update.
Some issues, but we're still waiting on that first really true big one that's going to drop probably within the next 10 days, I would think. The first big update will have a lot more gameplay fixes, Dynasty fixes, Road to Glory fixes. They'll even probably add stuff to the game, a lot more uniforms, helmets, maybe plays, just all kind of stuff like that, new equipment potentially. But the one that dropped today was really important for a number of reasons. So we're going to go over what changed and also some things you can be looking out in the next update that we already know they're working on. Now, the funny thing about today's updates is they actually dropped two separate ones, which I've never really seen them do it like that before.
They dropped two separate ones?
Update 2.5, but then later in the day, they also pushed a couple of other things through that were pretty significant. So let's talk about the gameplay first. The first thing they did earlier this morning was they addressed issues where the switch stick input could be delayed, and they also fixed the defensive formation packages that were resetting during hurry up. But that's not all. There's some more gameplay changes that dropped later, but let's talk about these first. Now, these first two gameplay updates were things that they previously announced last week when they dropped the blog note saying that these would be coming maybe a week later, but these are pretty significant because the switch stick is one of the best defensive mechanics in the game, and the fact that it had a slight delay was really making it a lot less useful than it should be. It still worked, but it just wasn't quite what it should have been. And after testing the game and other people testing the game all day, it definitely appears that the switch stick is back to switching with no delay, which now makes it again one of the most useful mechanics that you can learn in the game. Now, just a little bit ago, another update got pushed through out of nowhere, and this is actually the more significant gameplay update in my opinion. It says, following title update 2.5, an additional live content update went live to address the following. Timing-based catching update. Effect from coverage defenders was increased to reduce green windows. They also made a punt strength adjustment. The max punt distance is now reduced. Now let's talk about the punting first, because that's kind of the smaller one, but mainly if you play Dynasty, I think you probably saw this. A lot of people were reporting that every punter was booting the ball 60 to 65 yards every single punt, which obviously is...
They had this problem in Madden, bro. Anytime that you got 3 and out against the EU, they are booting that bitch. You hear me? And sometimes, especially in the newer Maddens, they literally will punt it right here. It will be perfectly on the 1-yard line. And you be like, are you serious, bro? Like, how can you punt that good? There is no reason why you should be able to punt this good. They either have it like that, or they're going to punt it all the way over here, or they're going to punt it out of bounds at the 1. And then you'll find out, like, when it does the animation, that, oh yeah, you're at the 1-yard line. So in college, bro, I know the college people was mad because that it still happens in the Maddens of today. So I'm glad that they are fixing this though.
Realistic, but even in the regular game, punters were just booting the heck out of the thing. And of course, sometimes you might boot the ball that far.
Yeah, sometimes, but not time. Yeah, I was about to say not every time.
The catching update is huge because I already know this is going to be polarizing because time-based catching was polarizing. Once the game dropped, it was polarizing, and now when they're going to be tuning and tweaking it, it's going to remain that way. This was an issue that a lot of people were having with the game. They felt like timing-based catching was just too overpowered, and I'm not going to lie. For my time playing it, the more we've played it, I mean, I've definitely seen some people be able to abuse this.
That was going to be the thing when they first introduced this, and well, for one, people thought that you can turn this off, which you can, if they would just listen. But the second thing was, and I sympathize with people with this second one. The first one, you just gotta listen. The second one was, I felt like this was going to be abused. In the wrong hands, this was going to be abused. And you would feel like your defensive player, your corner or your safety or whoever can't even, like, why even try? You know what I mean? Especially if you're going against other people. CPU thing might be a little bit different. I'm not really sure, but going up against like actual people, I knew this was going to get abused right here. The green windows and stuff like that. The same thing happened with NBA 2K. Once the green shot meter and all that came into effect, people started to abuse it. People started to have metas and how to get a green every single time. Like, you start seeing these videos pop out. I knew once they introduced this was going to be something that was going to happen. And as we can see, game comes out. The ones that do keep it on, some of them abuse it. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them do abuse it. And because the ones that do abuse it are the ones that swear up and down, oh, it's the same game every year, or I'm not going to buy the game, but they're the ones that's pre-ordering the game and stuff like that. So they have a big impact on certain changes when it comes to this. And I feel like the ones that play fair are going to love this update. The ones that like to abuse this, they're going to be on Twitter. I promise you this. They are going to be on Twitter. And they are going to be, oh my God. They're going to be sitting up here bullshitting, complaining, being little babies. I promise you that. Watch this. Watch this, bro. It's about to go crazy.
And I don't think the catching itself is the biggest problem, but it just seemed like it was very hard to get interceptions even when you got in good position, which is what timing-based catching was supposed to be all about. It was supposed to be on both sides of the ball. Maybe it was a slight bit overpowered on offense, but really on defense, it just felt like you didn't get the same success as the offensive side of the ball even when you timed it right, which was supposed to be the entire skill gap of the thing.
Yeah.
And immediately after this change, before EA even announced it, I saw multiple people saying something seems a little different all of a sudden out of nowhere. Timing-based catching does not seem the same. The green window seems a lot smaller. And
oh my God, damn.
If you have like your guy beat or it's a one-on-one and you have a huge like height advantage, it feels like the window.
Nah, they say, you know what, we better nip this in the bud right now.
Smothered by a good defender, you're definitely going to notice that green window is a lot smaller now. You can still green it, but it's not going to be quite as easy as it was the previous couple of weeks. And one of the guys that worked at EA also made a comment on this after this dropped, and he said, there's more to come down the line, but this update will give you smaller green windows using timing-based catching, mainly when covered and smothered. And he also said, for my Dynasty crowd, not every punter will be Ray Guy. Thank you for your clips. Please continue to share your feedback with us, and we appreciate you guys. Now, I think a lot of people are going to say the timing-based catching change is a W. It was just a little bit too overpowered. Yeah. Some people were making it their entire offense, but I know there's going to be a lot of other people that said
I've seen them videos and seen clips.
Games do. No matter what new mechanic they introduce, no matter how the game drops, once people start abusing stuff, naturally it gets
and that's the thing.
It's just how it is. For the better or for the worse, they're going to...
I'm sorry for pausing, but that's the thing. When they put new stuff in the game, people always like they take it out like that, a lot of times it's because we abused it. And what I mean by we, I mean like a certain group of people. We know who they are, who always, no matter what new mechanic, new gameplay stuff, they're going to find a way to abuse it, make it their whole, either their offense or their whole defense, and they're going to do that. We've seen that with plays, especially online, where some people only have 2 plays. They only know how to do 2 plays. And not to say, oh, well, you guys can't stop it. It's not that. It's just that try something. Like, you don't have to do it every single time. Same thing I said about Alabama yesterday, their uniforms. Just try something new every once in a while. I'm not saying you got to switch it up every single time you play the game. But god damn, man, are you even really having fun? You doing 2 plays, or you're doing just same catch animation every single time? Are you really having any fun? That, for me, that would just get too boring after a while, you know?
Tweak and tune stuff, and it sounds like there's still going to be further tuning with this down the line based on what Mole said on Twitter. And with gameplay updates like this, when they're trying to change the meta, where they're trying to nerf things that are overpowered, they're trying to patch popular formations and tactics, there's no better time than to tell you that I'm still partnered with Civil.gg this year, and if you want to learn all the best strategies for offense and
Civil.gg,
use code ERIC40 for 40% off a yearly or monthly membership.
There's a code right there, ERIC40.
Gameplay-wise in this update were the stiff arm spam and the pancake blocks. Now, we already know they're working on the pancake blocks because they've said that. And again, depending on who you are, you might not like this because
I ain't gonna lie to you, it's cool seeing it.
I'm having a lot of fun running.
It ain't cool on the other side.
In the run game when it's good, but the pancake blocks are a bit too much. It's not so much the secondary. That's
okay. We good.
Fine. It's just linebackers and defensive linemen are just getting put on their back way too consistently. That shouldn't be happening as much as it does. Those are big body guys that are used to taking on blocks. They shouldn't be getting run over as much as they do. So the pancake blocking and the effectiveness of the stiff arm, that's going to probably be tuned in that next big update that I said is coming maybe in about 10 days, maybe 2 weeks at the most. They're going to definitely be addressing that soon. But I saw a lot of people asking why wasn't that addressed here. They're probably still working on that. They're still testing and tuning. Now, moving on to Road to Glory, and then we've got some Dynasty stuff to go over. Now, with Road to Glory, there were some really important things that were addressed today that people were waiting for. It says that they fully resolved an issue that could prevent edge players from triggering position battles, and they also resolved an issue that could prevent cap breakers from being used with additional stability fixes and UI improvements. These were 2 of the biggest issues with Road to Glory. I mean, obviously, we all know they still ain't put them damn sliders back. We want the sliders back. It doesn't seem like they're going to do it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't hear a lot about
they don't want to put it back.
Them putting them back.
They changed the whole system. It's a completely different way you build your player this year. I'm not a fan of it. They're definitely going the 2K route. They just dropped the FIFA or FC open world stuff today, so I think that's what
I didn't see the trailer.
And look, I mean,
I might have to check out the trailer.
I don't know how it's going to be until I see it, but we can tell where they're going. So I don't think we're going to ever get those XP sliders back the way we once had them, unfortunately. Not a fan of that for my Road to Glory guys, but the good news is if you're an edge player, you shouldn't have that problem in climbing up the depth chart now and being able to play. And I think really the big one that a lot of people have been complaining about that I saw, the cap breakers. You couldn't use the cap breakers, which, it's already bad enough we don't have the XP sliders, but if you can't use your cap breakers, it makes it really hard to get your player up. Now, I do believe with the cap breakers, you have to have your attributes in whatever area you're trying to use them in. I think you have to have them maxed out before you can apply cap breakers, so keep that in mind. But let me know below. It should be fixed. I saw people on Twitter and things saying that this was indeed fixed, so glad that they got that out there finally for my Road to Glory people. Now, for my Dynasty people, they improved the CPU team NIL allocation logic and updated the risk of leaving bar to properly reflect contract specialist support staff alongside stability improvements. Now, in terms of just recruiting and things altogether, I do believe there's still things that they're looking into there. Again, I'm not a huge Dynasty player. I do play it here or there, but I don't know all of the issues with it. I just know what I see people commenting, in my comment section and on Twitter. I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's definitely still a number of things that they're still addressing there that'll probably be in the next update. update, this was one of the issues, but I think there are still some recruiting things that they haven't maybe fully ironed out yet, which is, kind of unfortunate in my opinion, because I know some people are waiting to start their big dynasty, until that stuff gets ironed out. So they're definitely still looking into stuff like that as far as I know. Hopefully in the next 10 or so days, we kind of get all that stuff ironed out, and then people will be good to go there. Now with the update that dropped last week, they actually added a lot of cool new stuff to the game that they didn't report on in their actual blog notes. Like a bunch of new uniforms,
Oh yeah, we checked this out yesterday. Yeah. Man, oh man, the one that's gonna be the most controversial is the catching, obviously, getting nerfed. That one right there, I can't wait to see what people have to say. I also can't wait to see the ones that used it as their whole thing and abused it, to see what they have to say as well, because I'm sure they're gonna make every excuse in the world of why this game sucks. You know what I mean? So can't wait to see those as well. Appreciate you guys for watching this reaction. If you want more reactions, all you gotta do is leave a like on this video and comment. If you made it this far, comment pretzels. I want to see the ones that made it this far in this reaction. Comment pretzels. That's it. Just comment pretzels. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.